I also, in conjunction to the NBA playoffs, we have the Stanley Cup playoffs, and we have the Stanley Cup finals, which I also think that is crazy. That we have two Florida teams in not only the NBA finals, but the Stanley Cup finals. And both teams were eighth seeds, which of course is the Florida Panthers and the Miami Heat. The Florida Panthers are going up against the Vegas Golden Knights in the Stanley Cup finals. And that's another thing. I don't understand it. I get it. I don't get it, but it's their tradition. Why is it not called the NHL playoffs? Why is it called the Stanley Cup playoffs and the Stanley Cup finals? I don't know. Like, I don't know. It's not called the Super Bowl playoffs. It's not called the it's not called the NBA finals. I don't know. Maybe now that I'm really sitting here listening to myself say it, it sounds kind of cool. But you have the Florida Panthers going up against the Vegas Golden Knights. Now, the Vegas Golden Knights was, of course, one of the number one seeds going into the Stanley Cup playoffs, and they've been incredible. I mean, they haven't lost. They haven't seen a game 7 yet. They haven't seen a game 7. They beat the first round. They won 4-1. Second round, they beat the Oilers and Connor McDavid 4-2, and then they beat the Dallas Stars 4-2. And I think the last game they beat them like 6-0. The Golden Knights is a fast team. They're a physical team, and they can put up points in bunches. We've kind of seen this throughout the entire season in NHL. This has been a season of points, and the Vegas Golden Knights they put up points in bunches, and they're just fast and physical, and they're big. On the other hand, though, think about this: they were the eighth seed. The Florida Panthers, right? The Florida Panthers have only lost 4 games this entire playoffs. They came back from 3-1 against the Boston Bruins. They beat the Toronto Maple Leafs and Austin Matthews 4-1, and they beat the Hurricanes, which a lot of people had winning it all. They beat the Hurricanes 4-0. And a lot of it is due to Matthew Tkachuk just going crazy. Matthew Tkachuk is obviously their best player, and it's kind of like the NBA playoffs and the Stanley Cup playoffs. Your stars need to come alive, and that's kind of what we saw. I mean, Austin Matthews kind of struggled in that series struggled mightily in the series, and in Boston, Pasternak didn't really do much. But Matthew Tkachuk has really led this team to the playoffs. And honestly, it's hard for me which I also think is crazy because the Florida Panthers were the number one seed last year. So maybe there's a President's Cup curse. I don't know, because they got bounced out the first round last year, and now they're in the wild card in the Western, or their Stanley Cup finals. I think I'm going to go with the Florida Panthers. Again, the Florida Panthers, they have gone through a Saints row. I mean, beating Boston the first round, then having to play the Toronto Make-Believes, then having to go against the Carolina Hurricanes. That's tough. Now, yes, Vegas is yet another number one seed that they have to play. They played 2 of them already. And Vegas hasn't had that much of or that hard of a route outside of maybe the Oilers, because you're going up against Connor McDavid. I'm gonna go with the Florida Panthers. I think Florida is going to win it. I just think that the road's been tougher. Matthew Tkachuk is playing the best hockey he's played probably in his career, and I just feel the road has been tougher. And don't get me wrong, the Vegas Golden Knights are tough and definitely deserve to be in the Stanley Cup finals. But if you do like a ranking, I don't know if I'd put them over the Boston Bruins or the Toronto Maple Leafs or honestly the Hurricanes. So, and Florida is hot. They're playing the best hockey that they can. So, my prediction is I have Florida winning the Stanley Cup playoffs or Stanley Cup finals. I'm probably going to say in 6 games. So I have the Panthers in 6. Oh, man, you stayed to the end of the video. I appreciate you. If you like what you saw, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you'll never miss any content from your boy. You can also go back and watch past episodes, past clips, and don't forget that the Unpopular Podcast, new episodes drop every Wednesday and Saturday. Appreciate you.